Any type of charge like this is really hard for everyone involved, but we're just really happy that the system works, really happy for Tim. But any charge like this does a lot of damage, so can't really get any of that back.
Sure. Now, what was it specifically that you thought the jury, when they went for deliberations, that put them into the category of declaring a not guilty verdict?
Witnesses from the dorm rooms, and they really didn't have the same stories, any of them. And I think at the end, the jury kind of realized that everybody was just trying to make their story fit one version, and it didn't really work.
So what happens now with Timothy? Is he? I'm assuming he's not from Missoula, is he?
No, he lives in Bozeman. So he went back to Bozeman, and he just gets to go on with his life.
Okay. Now, as far as I had a chance to visit with Jennifer Clark earlier today, and one of the questions I asked her was, with a verdict like this, I know one of the things that has been talked about so much, especially here in Missoula, is getting women to come forward to report sexual assaults. And I guess I'll ask you the same question, even though you're on the other side of the verdict here, of encouraging women, if they feel that they have been the victim of a sexual assault, to come forward. Do you believe that this verdict will encourage that or not? Or what is your thought in that case?
Well, I think we have to be really careful. And I mean, given the current political climate, you have this pendulum that's swinging towards anybody that says anything that is, accusing another person of a crime, that they're automatically believed. That there's no critical thinking, that you don't look at the evidence. So, one of the things we feared in this case, especially right after the release of the book, is people aren't going to think about this as a system where you have to prove someone committed a crime. And I understand, the nature of the charge. There's really, everybody loses, and it's just really unfortunate. But, for us to say that this is somehow going to, decrease someone from reporting a crime, it's unfortunate. And I hope that's not what happens. But at the same time, you can't use this as an excuse to diminish the rights of people who are accused of crimes. And that's the biggest fear here, is that we're going to get to the point where we're hurting everybody's rights. You and I, anybody that's accused of a crime, if it continues like this, you're basically presumed guilty until you're proven innocent, and that's unfortunate.
I'm very disappointed in the verdict. The evidence in the case was overwhelming that she did not give consent. The evidence of the long-term trauma that she suffered as a result of this, the impact it had on her and her friends, very compelling.
So, what was the factor that you believe caused the jury to say that Mr. Schwartz was not guilty?
I'm not entirely sure. In speaking to some of the jurors, they said that everybody agreed or believed the victim in the case. They didn't believe the defendant, but at the end of the day, they said they didn't think he knew that he didn't have consent.
And so, what happens now? Will the victim be able to from your obviously you've gotten to know her very well. Is this something that you believe she'll be able to recover from and go on with her life, or is this going to continue to cause her problems?
I think both. She's devastated by the outcome in this case. So,
let me ask you this: is there going to be help available to her to try to deal with this?
Yes.
Okay, and where would that help be for those who may have been in a similar situation?
Well, there are a lot of counselors, advocates that assist people who have been the victims of trauma and rape specifically.
Jen, do you believe that this not guilty verdict is going to affect how women choose to come forward in the future to report a sexual assault?
I hope it doesn't. Every case is unique. Every jury is unique. And we're going to continue to fight for those that have been victimized.